What's up, my comic comrades? The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants is set to play a big part in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie later this month. But who are they and what are the comic roots for this team of villains? Well, let's find out. The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants first appeared in X-Men issue 4 in March of 1964, where we're introduced to them on the 4th page of the issue. The captions read, "But now we leave Professor Xavier's school for gifted youngsters and turn our attention to another group of mutants who are also seated at a table. But what a world of difference we shall find between these two superhuman groups." We then see the first incarnation of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants consisting of Toad, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and Mastermind, with their leader obviously being Magneto. The four of them are sitting around a table eating and clearly not getting along. In fact, Mastermind ends up disrespecting Scarlet Witch, at which point she points a finger at him, which causes her powers to knock a jug of water on him. This pisses him off and he says, "You'll live to regret this, my fine sorceress." But her brother Quicksilver comes in to defend his sister, knocking him over, saying, "This Scarlet Witch and I remain here to serve the leader, not to be taunted by a black-hearted fiend like you." All the while, Toad is instigating the situation, saying, "Do it, destroy each other. Then when the leader returns, there will be only the two of us. We will rule the world together." Eventually, Magneto returns with Toad, greeting him saying, "It's the leader, he's back." And he has a destroyer, as Magneto returned via a destroyer ship. Magneto tells Toad, "Stop your sniveling. Inform the others that I want to see them." Toad, the lackey that he is, says, "But Master, I have much to tell you. They quarrel among themselves. They try to fight each other. I stopped them myself, because the Toad is loyal to you." Mastermind says, "Oh, I wouldn't call it a fight, Magneto. Merely a difference of opinion." But Toad says, "Don't believe him. I was here. I heard them. He tried to harm the Scarlet Witch." Mastermind tells Toad, "You loathsome gargoyle. I'll get you for this." With Magneto then grabbing Mastermind by the neck, telling him, "You dare say that in my presence? Have you forgotten that our personal feelings are nothing? It is the plan that is all important." Magneto then goes to meet Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver says, "Look, Magneto, you don't scare us. I'm taking my sister away from here." But Magneto grabs Scarlet Witch, saying, "You cannot leave. Have you forgotten most of all what you owe me?" She says, "He is right, Pietro. I must remain and serve him until my debt is repaid." At which point Pietro says, "Then I shall stay, Wanda, to watch over you." Now, longtime X-Men and Marvel fans already know why Wanda feels indebted to Magneto, but if you weren't aware, the next two panels tell us. As Magneto says, "Have you forgotten that day not long ago when I first came to your village in the heart of Europe? Have you forgotten how the superstitious villagers called you a witch because of your mutant power? It was me who saved you, keeping the mad crowd back by means of my magnetic power. You must never forget that. Never." Magneto then continues to tell Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, "Remember, we are Homo superior. We are born to rule the earth. Humans must be our slaves. They are our natural enemies. Together with our superhuman powers, we can conquer them all." Now, that sentence from Magneto basically sums up what the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants are all about. Essentially, they are the evil equivalent of the X-Men. Instead of trying to coexist peacefully with humans, they believe they are better than humans. They also hold resentment against humans as they persecute mutants and consider them freaks. So the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants is all about conquering and proving they are the superior race. And it goes without saying that as essentially the evil version of the X-Men, the Brotherhood has come into confrontation with the actual X-Men countless times, with the first being the instance we just went over from issue 4 of X-Men. But another important thing to note is that in the same issue, Professor X had a conversation on the astral plane with Magneto, where Eric tells Charles, "Only you and your X-Men stand between the mutants and world conquest. Why do you fight us? For you two are mutants." Charles replies, "But I seek to save mankind, not destroy it. We must use our powers to bring about a golden age on Earth, side by side with ordinary humans." Magneto replies, "Never. The humans must be our slaves. They are not worthy to share dominion of Earth with us. You have made your choice. Forevermore, we are mortal enemies." Charles tells him, "The X-Men will stop you, Magneto. It will be mutant against mutant to the death if need be. But mankind must be saved." So this just really establishes the basics of the X-Men and the Brotherhood. Remember, this was only issue 4 of the X-Men, so this is the true beginning of it all. But though this is the classic and the start of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, it would only be the first. And we would have a new lineup for the Brotherhood by the time Captain America Annual 4 rolled around, and this time the team was made up of Magneto, Burner, Lifter, Paralyzer, Peeper, and Slither. But the next really notable iteration of the team would be Mystique's Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, which arrived in Uncanny X-Men 141 in 1981.
We interrupt this episode because it is Comic-Con season and you guys need to hear this. If you've ever been to a Comic-Con, you know it's where all the different fandoms come together to celebrate all of geekdom in one place. And today's sponsor, Fan Expo, hosts some of the biggest and coolest cons in the world. In fact, Fan Expo Chicago is coming up in just a month, which is Chicago's original Comic-Con and the second longest running Comic-Con in North America. This 3-day party will draw over 75,000 fans, and this year's event is lining up to be a massive one. For starters, Mark Hamill is scheduled to make a rare their appearance and offer extremely limited edition experiences, including Luke and Anakin Skywalker father-son duo photo ops with Hayden Christensen, who will also be attending. And when I say limited, there will only be 500 of those Luke Anakin slots available. But there will also be a ton of other stars from franchises like Fallout, Scream, Star Trek, Star Wars, Terminator, plus animation, gaming, and anime voice actors. Artist Alley will also host all-star creators like Andy Kubert, Patrick Gleason, Jeff Johns, and the list goes on. In fact, there are more guests that will be announced in the coming weeks. It all goes down in the Windy City at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center between August 16th and 18th, so don't procrastinate. Visit fanexpochicago.com/variant to get your tickets right now. Again, this con is going to be packed with pop culture and geek-tastic goodness, including some of your favorite gaming stars, tattoo artists, cosplay, a massive exhibit hall, and everything in between. So you don't want to miss it. To snag your tickets, just click the link below.
So getting back to the Uncanny X-Men and the Mystique-led Brotherhood, they would make their debut in Uncanny X-Men 141, one of the most iconic X-Men issues and covers of all time. And towards the end of the issue, we see Mystique using her shape-shifting abilities to infiltrate the Pentagon. Captions then say she's earned her position and the complete trust of her superiors. Unfortunately, that loyalty is as much of an illusion as her appearance. For Raven Darkholme is a metamorph, a shapeshifter, a mutant better known to her comrades as Mystique, founder and leader of the new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. We then see her transforming into her real self as she enters her room, saying, "Good morning, all. I trust these accommodations meet with your approval." As we see the new members of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants consist of Avalanche, whose touch crumbles any solid object, Destiny, a precog with psychic ability to see the future, Pyro, who controls fire, and Blob, who is basically invulnerable. Then on the last page of the issue, Mystique reveals her new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants to the X-Men. She says, "I am Mystique. My colleagues and I comprise the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. We are your future humans. Resist us at your peril." They then face off against the X-Men, with Mystique ordering her Brotherhood to kill them. Toad, funny enough, would also have his own incarnation of the Brotherhood, as we see in X-Force issue 6 from 1991. The issue even breaks down his team, saying, "Look at my ranks. Some of you will know, some of you will get to know Blob, Pyro, Sauron, and Fantasia. Look at the amount of sheer power that I have gathered in so short a time." Now, the big thing with Toad's Brotherhood is that they really didn't stand for anything specific. You see, Magneto's incarnation of the team stood for mutant supremacy. However, Toad's was more about getting revenge on the X-Men and all related teams like X-Force. Toad's team also wasn't very competent, mainly because of his leadership skills. As we know, Toad is not the best leader. I mean, to be fair, Toad was just trying to live up to his mentor Magneto, so at least he gave it his all. Next up, we have an offshoot of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and that is an all-female version team called the Sisterhood of Mutants. The team first appeared in Uncanny X-Men 504 from 2008. The team has had a few different leaders over its time, like Lady Deathstrike, Madeline Pryor, and Archaea. Members of the team included Lady Mastermind, Psylocke, Spiral, Enchantress, Chimera, Anna Cortez, and more. It's a really cool take on the team with some of the best female characters the mutants have to offer. The Mutant Exodus even had his own version of the Brotherhood of Mutants. If you're unaware, Exodus is an Omega-level mutant with the Omega-level ability of telekinesis. He's also a former follower of Magneto, and in X-Men Volume 2, Issue 161, we see him continuing the mission Magneto started, attacking humans, saying, and it is here that the enslavement of the human race begins, on this day, the day of the new Brotherhood of Mutants. I am Exodus, and I am the power and the way. First disciple to Magneto, here to ensure his goal. His dream of the end of human tyranny shall be fulfilled. Yeah, Exodus is no joke. He is basically a more devoted Magneto, as he's motivated by religious beliefs, so he's ruthless with his own devotion to end human tyranny. And the last incarnation of the Brotherhood I'll mention is Daken's Brotherhood. Daken is the bloodthirsty son of Wolverine, who basically has all of his father's powers. And he made his own version of the Brotherhood, which is arguably the most powerful lineup of the team to date. The team consisted of Sabretooth, Mystique, Shadow King, Blob, Skinless Man, or Weapon 3, and the Omega Clan. Their mission was to take down the X-Force, and they were able to capture Phantom X, wanting to turn him into Apocalypse. They wanted to do this because they wanted to turn Genesis into the new Apocalypse. With all that said, I imagine the Brotherhood we see in Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be very different than any of the incarnations I just mentioned. I'm betting they're also going to be forced to work for Cassandra. It's going to be very interesting to see who the full roster will consist of and how big their role will be in the movie. But with all that said, we hope this episode gave you a better understanding of who the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants are, along with some of their incarnations through the years. Let us know what you think of the Brotherhood and what version of the team is your favorite. Other than that, we will see you next time when I talk about all things comics.